When I was young, people used to laugh at me because they thought it was lame to see a black kid in love with trains. But that was then, the people respect me now. I turned my passion into a paycheck when I became a conductor.
When you levitate to a whole nother dimension, that's pure elevation.
Clear signal, high ball. You're not just watching, you riding the throttle notcher. Where the rails run wild and the stories run deep. You're not just watching, you riding the throttle notcher. Where the midnight train to Georgia wake you out of your sleep. Two diesels painted white and black with 100 stacks. Shake the grounds of your house if you live right by the track. Engineer got train man himself, Donnie here with episode number 2 of Throttle Notches. I got a good friend of mine on the show today. It's been a while since me and him talked to each other or actually got a chance to hang out because he lives in Alabama. So I want to introduce you guys, JJ Gordon, Norfolk Southern conductor, former conductor at ATN, Arkansas Tennessee River Railroad, better known on YouTube as Birmingham Rail Fan / conductor. You can find him at Seaham Rails on YouTube. What's going on, man?
What's going on, man? Everything good, man. Can't complain, man. Glad to be doing this, man. And talk about some good stuff.
It's needed for the industry, man. You know, a lot of people want to know what it's like to be a conductor or engineer on the railroad. And believe it or not, a lot of times when I talk to people, I'm actually the first conductor or engineer they've ever actually met.
Okay.
Well, of course, I'm not an engineer, but the first conductor that they've ever met. I had a few people say, man, I ain't know people was actually on the trains.
Yeah, man. So many people so clueless about this stuff, man.
Hey, very clueless, especially when I personally feel that the railroad industry in America is not as respected as it used to be.
Nah, it ain't, man. It's really not.
Because it's a shame that we all knew growing up back in the day, and especially back in the 30s, 40s, and 50s, your ass better not be on the railroad tracks. Don't go on no tracks. But now you got a whole trend of people just taking pictures on the railroad tracks willy-nilly.
Wow. Yeah, man. It's bad, especially here in Irondale at the main yard, man. It's like, get out the way, man. What are y'all doing?
Man, I see a lot of pictures like that throughout the week, and I'm like, come on, man. Like, okay, so if somebody hit you, your family going to sit here and say that the railroad is liable for it.
Right. And it's like, man, the railroad police in Irondale all the time, but when they out there, you don't never see them. I'm like, where they at, man? Come on.
Like, where are the cops when you need them?
Like, yeah. Yeah.
All right, so my brother JJ Gordon and myself, we have another tie outside of the railroad industry. We are both huge fans of HBCU Marching Bands. Tell on your affiliation, man.
Man, I love the band, man. I started band 7th grade after I did Little League football. I started out saxophone, went to the drums in 8th grade, drumline all the way through high school. Grew up in the region I'm in. I'm surrounded by SWAT, SIAD, so I didn't get no choice but to live it. Then I started filming Miles College and the band in 2013. Doing it,
That's right.
Man, I got a ton of content on YouTube. Crazy views, man, like thousands, millions of views. And pretty much it. I film different games when I can and cover that. So that's pretty much it. Favorite time
for myself, when it comes to that, man, I actually didn't join the marching band. I went to Eau Claire High School, Columbia, South Carolina. I didn't join the marching band until my junior year in high school. I did that for 2 years, and then I marched on a community drum line my senior and 1 year after I graduated, and then I went down to South Carolina State and attempted to make it twice, but God had different plans for me. Percussionist, played bass drum out there. I'm a huge South Carolina State Bongo Brothers fan. I'm actually, becoming more and more intrigued by the swag style of percussion, which is what we call traditional. Where I'm at over here, we do a lot of what you would call chopping.
Yeah.
We're more of a chop style over here on this side of South Carolina or this side of the United States. I'm in Columbia. You got South Carolina State down in Orangeburg, and then you have Benedict College, literally about 10 minutes from where I live right now. So a lot of those are chop style schools in comparison to traditional, which is swag style, what you are used to. But I'm a huge fan of Miles. I'm becoming bigger fan of Jackson State, of course.
Oh yeah, I love One Thunder. Yeah.
All right, yep. Jackson State. What's their name? Alabama State, TTB.
Oh yeah, Bama State. Yeah.
TTB, I'm a big fan of those guys. They're probably them and Prairie View is probably the only drum lines in the SWAT that actually play with the same type of heads that's well known over in the snare heads that's well known over in the chop style. But you know,
Yeah,
you guys over there, y'all don't do tonal basses.
right, right. Yeah,
You got
Miles
tonals
did
over
it.
here.
Miles did the tonals about 10 years ago for about a year or two, but that was about it.
That's right. All right, so
And,
man, we go ahead and get into this, man. So tell us your background, brother.
born and raised here in Alabama, Birmingham, Alabama, which I live outside of the city now, but born and raised here, grew up in a good home, raised well, man. Just always been humble, good head on me, or whatever. Got two sisters. I'm the middle child, so everybody call me spoiled. but yeah, of course I'm a big train, airplane, band head, all that, man. So 35, married, kids, 3 girls, 1 boy.
And you living a life over there, man.
Yes, man. Hey, I'm trying to, man. Hey, I'm just praying and blessed to be one. It could be worse. So hey, I'm thankful. So
All right, all right. You got your white picket fence up.
was it?
You got your white picket fence up.
Oh yeah, hey, man. You already know.
All right, cool, man. So, of course, we talked about what the questions are going to be asked. So we're gonna go ahead and get it started, man. What got you into trains?
Man, I remember when I was like 3 or 4 years old, man. My granddaddy used to take me to the tracks, like in Bessemer, Alabama. I'm sure you heard of Bessemer. That's a big area for trains, man. Just seeing them trains. That's why it's my favorite spot. You see a lot of my videos, pictures from Bessemer. He used to take me. It was something about hearing that horn and seeing it, and seeing them trains back in the '90s. And my dad used to take me to see the trains too. So that started it right there.
Okay, okay.
And
I know
you
at
know,
Bessemer over the main line, the NS main line, it's a trestle or something, man. What was that?
the ACL, the old Atlantic Coastline. I think they ripped it up in the late '80s, early '90s.
So
But
why they just didn't take down the trestle?
yeah, it's still there. They probably ain't gonna take it down. It's preserved, man. I hope they never take it down. It's a cool.
Okay, okay. So you being in Birmingham, just say Bessemer, like what is the traffic out there? Like what trains or what
And
route is that?
that's of course AGS South District to Meridian. Busy. They run a bunch of trains, 60 mile per hour territory, 79 for Amtrak, double main from Bessemer all the way to Birmingham. Then you got the 3B, which branches off from Bessemer, going to Mobile, Alabama, South Alabama, down that way. So they run a bunch of traffic there too. So Bessemer's a hot spot. You got the 3B trains going to Mobile, which is like 8 a day at least. And then the AGS trains is at least 15 a day.
Oh, okay, okay.
So
So with that being said, if I'm not mistaken, I know you said something along the lines that the 3B had the speed reduced to like 25 or something like that.
yeah, the PTC, which I'm trying to find out why, because they did that to the West End district too, because there's not PTC out there. So they downgraded the line pretty much, so they can do less maintenance on it.
Okay, okay. So
Um,
it's probably was one of those lines that didn't have a whole lot of traffic.
yeah, yeah, it's dark territory too. So, but they use I don't know, they're using PTC down there, so I don't know. Maybe they just kept it at 25 for some reason. They definitely using PTC down there because it's TWC or whatever.
Okay, that's
You
pretty
know.
much the same thing from out of Columbia south to Augusta on the Norfolk Southern R line. You know, we got a whole segment that runs from Augusta to Charlotte, but
Yeah.
our line south is Columbia south to Augusta. That line has been downgraded to 25 mile per hour. For those of you who don't know, that's short line status.
Yeah.
There are actually talks right now about upgrading it because there are some talks that's been swirling around for some time that they're probably going to start running an intermodal train from Savannah
Okay.
to Charlotte once the Y in Charlotte is completed.
Okay.
But this is a bunch of hearsay. But you know that the Y is actually almost complete in Charlotte.
Okay.
So
That's
hopefully
cool.
that'll be a thing. And if that does happen, they're probably going to upgrade the speed limit on that R line south to 60.
Yeah. That 25 terrible. I know our West End of Sheffield, that's a rough trip at night, man. Daytime is okay. Nighttime 25 and there's only 2 trains out there, man. It's rough. Nothing but clear signals, nothing on the radio. It's rough.
So what are the territories you qualify to run on out of Birmingham for Norfolk Southern?
AGS South to Meridian, AGS North to Chattanooga, East End to Atlanta, West End to Sheffield. Of course, every yard in Birmingham, the whole terminal. So that's a good bit, which I already knew most of that. I just really had to learn the AGS when I, came back a couple years ago. So
Okay, cool. So you don't go to Mobile?
no, them guys are based out of Selma, Alabama, which I'm sure you heard of that. So historic black history. That's a black history town where a lot went down. Bloody Sunday, all that. So
okay.
Yeah, that's what them guys out of.
All right, so you being in Birmingham, I consider Birmingham as the Chicago of the South because down there you guys got CSX, you got Norfolk Southern, you got BNSF on the old Frisco. You also have Amtrak, but then you have a ton of short lines around the area. And where you are at geographically, if you want to be a little more exotic, you could go over to Mississippi and you could catch the Canadian National.
Yep,
The
I
Canadian
love
National and really the KCCP out there. I mean, CPKP out there.
Yeah.
So what is it like rail fan in Birmingham? Like, what was the things that you was looking for? And what are some of the short line railroads that you rail fan? Because I know you're a huge fan of the AT&N, which is the Arkansas and Tennessee River Railroad.
Yeah.
So
Alabama, Tennessee.
Yeah. Why I keep saying Arkansas? Alabama and Tennessee River Railroad, man.
Yeah.
So what were the trains that you most likely are rail fan out of there?
Man, it's a habit because I've always rail fan NS. I hardly ever go to CSX. They run some good trains, but I'm just an NS person. I've always just first thing do NS, and main reason because they run faster through town. Other side of town, they in 60 for a long way. But man, I mainly NS. I stop by Irondale, of course. Everybody knows about Irondale, hot spot. And downtown is your hot spot. You're gonna get both. You're gonna get CSX, a little bit of BNSF, NS, of course, ATN coming across. So that's always a good location to be. It's almost hard to miss something downtown. That's really why.
So are there any particular times of the day that you need to be out there to catch the most amount of trains? Because here in Columbia, before we'll talk about that. Like, what time of day do you normally go out there and you can see the most trains?
Normally mornings are pretty good. In the middle of the week, it's something about midweek. I tell everybody that, man. Midweek, get out in the morning, you're gonna see some trains. It kind of dies down around noon before Amtrak comes. Then after Amtrak leaves, it picks up again, and you get a rush at nighttime, man. Like between 7 and midnight, it's wide open. And sometimes Saturday mornings are pretty active, but that's normally midweek and Saturday mornings, from what I noticed. So
okay. So what Amtrak you guys got coming through there? The 20 and 19?
Yeah, we got 19 in the morning. They switched the time. I hate how they made the times different now. 20 used to come at 19 still is close to the same time. They get in Birmingham around noon and leave at 1 p.m. 20 doesn't get here down to 5. But they do out at 5:24 p.m. So where it used to be 2:30 in the afternoon. So it's kind of close. But yeah, those two, and just got that new Amtrak in South Alabama. Mobile, the Gulf Coast Mardi Gras service.
Yeah, the Mardi Gras.
Yeah, that's pretty active from what I heard. Everybody been riding it. So
yeah, our buddy Brian Smith, he's an engineer out there.
Yeah. He went down there and got hopped on that. So yeah, he was up here on the cruise.
That's right. Speaking of, man, the legendary Amtrak engineer, Big Mo, man.
Yeah, that's my boy.
How's he doing? Is he still on the Crescent?
Yeah, I haven't talked to him. I tried to call him a couple months ago. I met him. I was on the road train in Bessemer, actually. We passed him. He heard me on the radio. We chatted, while we was going down the rails, and I called him, but he was busy. But he doing good. He texts me. He's still up here running. Yeah, he might be close to retiring in a few years. He at least 50 years old. So
All right, man. Because I know I actually found out a bit more from your videos and from the gentleman that's out there in Austell and Mapleton. Because he
yeah,
made
yeah,
quite a few compilation videos of the Big Mo show.
yeah. We both did, man. Like, man, Mo, man. I first he commented on one of my videos in '09 and whatever, man. He introduced himself and he started giving me them horn shows, waving out the window, throwing stuff out the window at me, cool little gifts. And I met him at the station in '09, man. He invited me up on the cab, man. That was so cool. And that really sparked my interest in wanting to be, a conductor, engineer. I think that right there really did it, sitting up in that P-42 just talking with him for 30 minutes.
Okay, cool, man. So since we're talking about rail fan in Birmingham, this is something that I was gonna touch bases on before you gave a little explanation.
Yeah.
I know here in Columbia, South Carolina, for us, the introduction and implication of PSR messed a whole lot up, man. So what is rail fanning been like for you guys? Because Birmingham is a much bigger place and it has more traffic. As I said, you got 4 different subdivisions from the NS. You got I'm not so sure how many you got for CSX, and then you got Amtrak coming in. But Amtrak they run strictly NS if I'm not mistaken. Then you
Yeah.
have BNSF. What has the implication of PSR done to the rail fan network up there as far as what you're able to catch? Because here in Columbia, South Carolina, like I said, man, it messed us all up. We
Oh,
had
yeah, it did.
NS, we had 3 sets of manifests. Now you only got 2.
Yeah, they messed up everything, man. They cut a lot. We still got a good bit of traffic here, but they did cut out a few trains. Compared to years ago, trains are longer than they used to be. I remember used to have trains that was rarely over 7,000 feet, and if they did, they ran an extra. Now you don't see too many extras. Everything is long. Everything is freaking DP now. They spend so much time with that DP mess. It's ridiculous. Also, TO trip optimizers and PTC is a part of PSR, so they implemented that. So now you don't have as many cool engines leading as you used to. Everything you see on NS now is a 4,000 something.
That's man, I was just reminiscing the other day about, for me in Columbia, I didn't start the rail fan heavy until 2010, 2011, after I
Yeah,
had graduated high school.
yeah,
And I can remember, like I was telling somebody, man, we had standard cab SD60s,
man, yeah, man,
60Es, 60Is, 60M,
yeah,
standard cab dash 9s, wide cab dash 9s, DC AC
yeah, yeah,
Gevos,
all that
70
stuff.
Aces, 70 M's, the standard
SC40s,
cab
lead.
70s on the NS. That's just the NS I just named. Then we had a lot of high hoods.
Yeah, oh yeah, I heard, man. Yep, yeah, I got, yeah, I've been on a few of those, but it's completely different, man. Like I said, they actually ran trains, man. There wasn't no crazy rules. They restricted so much with this PSR, and I don't know. They kind of dumbed it down and slowed it down, man, and it created so much difference. Like all this automation, it's terrible. They trust automation more over us now. You liable to get in trouble, for not letting the automatic thing do its thing or whatever. So, but back to you said rail fanning. Yeah, it changed a lot for me anyway. The younger guys, they still deep into it, but I don't get out nearly as much as I used to. Just a couple times a week maybe.
Woo! Because for me, where I live at, my house, I'm right here, maybe a mile away from where the Norfolk Southern R line crosses over the CSX Hamlet subdivision. The
Yeah,
Hamlet
yeah,
subdivision only saw one set of manifests the Q464, which went to Hamlet, the 463 that went to KC. Then they had a local out of Lugoff, South Carolina, which still runs to this day. And then you had Amtrak, and both Amtraks was nocturnal, but it was a great chance you was going to see them maybe once or twice during the week because they was always late.
Yeah. Yeah.
But in comparison to how things were, I had 2 sets of manifests that went up past me. Used to get the Ringling Brothers Circus train. Used to get the James Straits, the James Straits Carnival train. We occasionally got coal trains. We got a lot of as-needed grain trains. It was just a different variety of stuff, and like I said, different variety of trains and a different variety of power in comparison to today. Because not everything is just GVOs or C6Ms. For a lot of people who don't know what that is, I'm pretty sure everybody do. Rebuilt Dash 9s.
Yeah, exactly. Let me grab my phone charge. Give me a second.
Take your time, man.
But yeah, man, all that and trains, they actually ran trains back then. A lot of engineers, they don't like it anymore. It made some engineers lazy, and some of them hate it because it's taken away from the craft. Out, they can't run like anymore. They just sit up there and watch it. And trains go slower now because the engineers actually used to run the hell out of the train. Man, you got pig trains dragging because of this crap. It's bad.
So do you think that's a reason why a lot of actual railroaders, like you say, engineers that know their craft, do you think is that a reason why a lot of them are leaving the class 1s and running to the short lines?
Yeah, some of them, and you got some guys quit and go into another field, just ain't the same, more.
Okay. And speaking of short lines, man, like I said, by you being in Birmingham, y'all, just Alabama itself, y'all are surrounded by a lot of short lines. Tell us about the short lines that you rail fan out there.
And of course, we got ATN, which I live right by ATN. Of course, I worked there a few years, but they run some big stuff. They got some cool power. They got a lot of mileage. And then we got Birmingham. Used to be Birmingham Southern, Birmingham Terminal over in Fairfield, which I hardly ever go over there. I don't know much about them, but they run some, good bit of traffic. They interchange with NS, CSX, and BNSF. So then we got some little industry lines, little plant switches and stuff. You got the Alabama Southern over in Tuscaloosa. They pretty much right by the University of Alabama. They run a daily train on CSX with WMX power, CSX power. Then they go to Columbus, Mississippi, Artesia.
Mm-hmm.
They go over there. Trying to see what else we got. That G&W lines. We got AGR, Alabama Gulf Coast Railway. They run from Columbus all the way to Mobile, Alabama, I think.
If I'm not mistaken, they run at faster speed too, right?
Yeah, they run in them big GEs too. They interchange with BNSF and other railroads. Us too.
Okay.
Man, you got a bunch surrounded, so yeah.
Okay, I know a few years back you had made a video series when you went over to Mississippi to catch Canadian National. What was that like?
Man, I love Mississippi, man. I wish I can get over there like I used to. So you can run some trains. It's flat over there. It's wide open. I like that type of scenery. Some people don't. I just love being out there. And you see nothing but cornfields and highway, and they run out there. I mean, you talking about trying to chase a train? You better be with it. You get burned. You get burned out there. I like it though. They don't run a whole lot, but they run enough. And like I say, it's cool to see the CN power. Might get some IC. And they just run fast, man. 60, 65 miles per hour out there, and it's different. It's cool to see. And of course, you got KCS over there too, Mississippi. So Speedway.
Right. That's right, the Meridian Speedway. So also, since we're talking about foreign power or foreign roads, I should say, BNSF. Since you guys have, what is it, Thomas or Thompson Yard out there?
Yeah, East Thomas.
Okay. What is that like? Because I always found it intriguing that you have a West Coast railroad this far south.
Right. Yeah, it's the dead end. Of course, it used to be Frisco, of course, back in the day. And BNSF absorbed them. Well, it was Frisco, then BN. That's right. Then BNSF came about in the 90s.
All right.
Because I remember seeing BN engines over there when I was little in Santa Fe engines. But it's the dead end for them, man. Their yard is dry. You don't see a whole lot over there. Of course, they run them CSX Z trains to Fairburn, Georgia. So they run like 2 or 3 of them to Fairburn and 3 back, going all the way to the West Coast. They
Are
run
you
a
old
couple.
enough to remember when the BN actually ran the Mobile?
I don't remember it. Of course, it was when I was little, but I didn't have enough knowledge back then. But I've heard all about it or whatever.
Because
So,
I'm very intrigued by the cow ride video that's online of that BN train from that went all the way down to Mobile, and the person who recorded it
yeah,
recorded the whole trip.
I need to watch that. I don't think I've seen that.
Is what's the name of it? Well, we'll talk about it. Yeah, it's a BN cat ride where the guy he rode with the crew. It was actually taken maybe about a month or two before they actually took up the tracks.
Okay.
So
I'm
it
gonna have to
was
check
pretty
that out.
much like a last chance to be able to rail fan this line before we all shut it down and remove everything.
Yeah. But they AGR is running on that line. They got it from BNSF, so if BNSF ever want it back, they can get it.
I know, right?
but 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 yeah, BNSF, man, they don't run a whole lot down here. That's a line I need to get on, man. I never go out there. I just don't. It's just something I never do. But I need to. They run some cool trains out there, whatever, and it seems like a cooler railroad.
So that's the Birmingham subdivision of BNSF, right?
Yep. Birmingham Sud to Memphis.
Okay. And I know they got that line got to cut through Mississippi, right?
Yeah. I think around state line to get up in like Amory
Uh-huh.
and Tupelo, all that. So yeah.
All right, yeah. So that comes from out of Memphis, Tennessee. All right, that's cool, man. Like I said,
Yep.
man, I consider you got the Chicago or the South when it comes to the railroad, man. Because up here in South Carolina, man, it's either NS, CSX, and we got a handful of short lines.
Yeah, man. It's a hot spot down here, man. You need a force. Like people visiting, man. You can't. It's impossible to get everything in one day. You need at least 2 or 3 days, and it's just to get to almost everything.
Hey, man, that's about right because I remember we met down there. Actually, we had our first encounter with one another in person at the Honda Battle of the Bands back in
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
2013. And then I came down to Birmingham in 2017 because I was being interviewed to work for NS out of Birmingham, Alabama, and we linked up with each other afterwards.
yeah. I remember that. Yeah.
Sheesh. All right, so let's go ahead and get into it, man. What is your railroad career like? What made you want to go ahead and join the railroad, and what are your the things that has happened that you want to talk about? Your career with NS, ATN, and then you went back to the NS. So, when did you join, or when were you hired out?
Man, I go back to when I first started applying in 2012 when I was working at freaking Lowe's, and I went to like back then they did the hiring sessions. They need to go back to that, but I did the hiring session 2012. 2 of them didn't get it. You get discouraged or whatever. I went to Shreveport. I had one with KCS. I didn't get that. They felt like I was gonna transfer because I told them I had a son. I probably shouldn't have said that. Uh, Then I gave up. I got hired with Mercedes or whatever. That was a good job. Mercedes Auto Plant. But I went getting it, man. And then, I had buddies and stuff who knew people at the railroad. They was getting help, getting hired, getting interviews and stuff. I was like, man, it's cool. It is, if it meant for me to happen, whatever. I went to a open hiring session in Meridian. It was a bunch of people there because it went invite only. That was February 2015. I went down there. They liked me. I did the interview. I was supposed to get hired in Meridian in New Orleans. I kind of wish I did just to get out of Alabama, which is the NONE sub.
Mm-hmm.
They said, we're going to let you come to Birmingham for an interview next week. They liked what I had, my job experience and what I did. So I started in May 2015 training in McDonald, and I was qualified September 2015. So, yeah. And that's when I started.
Okay. So I know just a few seconds ago, you elaborated on something that is so different in comparison to how it is now, the hiring. Because back in the day,
Man,
for those who don't know, back in the day, CSX, Norfolk Southern, or the Class 1 in general, when you put in your application, certain companies like BNSF, they make you take a test online when you
yeah,
put in your application. If you
yeah,
pass the test, I don't think it's a right or wrong way of doing things on that test, but if they like your results of the test, then they'll send you they would send you an invite to go to the
yeah,
hire session.
yeah.
So back in the day, or at least when we was trying to get on, the hire sessions were invite only.
Mm-hmm.
And they would rent out a suite at a hotel, and they would invite a
Yeah.
certain amount of people who they felt was a good candidates. They would bring you in, have a presentation, have the recruiter do a presentation, or
Yep.
show you a video, and then they would let people who were locally employed by that railroad, like a yard master, train master, or MTO as they're known now. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and maybe one or two engineers or conductors, they will all come in and basically tell you about the job, what it's like to be a conductor or engineer. And a lot of times I felt like it was really the scare tactic
Yeah, yeah,
because,
yeah.
because after that presentation, at least with the NS, they would give you 15 minutes to decide whether or not you want to go forward or whether or
Right.
not you want to proceed. And a
Yep.
lot of people ain't come back after that first
Yeah.
presentation.
Yeah. People used to leave, man.
And after the presentation in the 15-minute period, they'll bring you in and they'll give you a test.
Yep. That's it.
They give
Yep.
you a test. And after you're done with your test, you had to sit outside. Everybody had to sit outside while they graded the test. They would grade the test, and they will also look at your resume to see
Right.
whether or not you lined up as a good candidate. And if they
Mm-hmm.
decided to bring you in for an interview, they will put at the end of the period where they decided decided on who they want to interview, they'll come out the door, they'll stick a list on the door.
Yep. Probably like 12 positions out of 100 people.
All right. They stick a list on the door. You go up there and see if you made that list. If you made the list, you went in for an interview. If you
Yep.
didn't make the list, you went home.
Yep.
Do you think from them doing an invite only to, I believe 2015 is when they started doing open interviews or open session. They would place an ad in the newspaper saying that such
Mm-hmm.
and such railroad is looking for conductors, people candidates to be conductors. It's not invite only. You can just show. You have to be there at a certain time.
Yeah.
You had to be there, if I'm not mistaken, had to be there by 7 or 8 o'clock.
Yeah. I think it
And
was 7.
if you walked in 8:01, you ain't make it.
Yep. Turn around.
Do you think by them making it open invite versus being invite only, did that help a lot of rail fans get in?
Well, no, these rail fans didn't start getting in until after COVID. That's when all
Well,
the
yeah,
shit changed.
that part. Now,
Excuse
do
me,
you think it
language.
for you it made it? I'm gonna say, do you think it made it easier for you to be interviewed instead of it being invite only?
You talking about like now? Or
When you got on, when they changed it to open
oh, okay.
sessions versus it being a session where you had to be invited. Do
Yeah, I
you
think it
think
was
that
a
played a
little.
role in helping you get in a lot faster?
Yeah, I think it did. It did. Plus my job experience too. I will say that. Because back then all I had was fast food and a year or two at Lowe's, so that wasn't really enough. And working at that auto plant, I think that helped me a lot. They liked that. They really liked it.
How long you was at the plant?
I was in Mercedes. I wasn't even there. I was there about 10, 11 months.
Oh, okay,
And,
okay. Because I know when
but
you after you came out of the training with NS, I actually got hired on. Was getting hired on to work out of Columbia, but then they took my job off from me when they saw my driving history wasn't the greatest at that point in time.
yeah, they used to look at all that stuff. I remember that. But yeah, I think now, man, they need to go back to it. Like I said, when I came back, I had that 5-minute phone interview. I was like, wow, is that easy?
Ooh. Yeah, you
Jeez,
ain't
man,
lying.
and they just hiring anybody now. These rail fans, man. I hate they start doing that, man. It's
Man,
it's
it's crazy you say that, man, because it's like, now don't get me wrong, it helped me get in with CSX.
yeah, yeah,
And
yeah,
I'm a major rail fan,
yeah,
but I
yeah.
came
I
from a
like it too.
railroad.
Yeah,
I came from a railroad to go to CSX. Do
right.
you think when we speak on that about rail fans, do you think that watered down the quality of employees that they was hiring?
Yeah, they you got these they hiring guys with no experience. A lot of these younger rail fans ain't did nothing but work in a dang drive through at McDonald's. And they don't know nothing. A lot of them, I feel, chasing the image, and they see their buddies get on, they go for it too. And not only that, they also hiring people with no experience and nothing. Just and you get all these guys out here don't want to work. All they want to do is be on road trains and be off all the time. So it's the quality has changed a lot.
You
They
ain't
can't keep
lying, man.
nobody either.
Because my experience with the company that I worked for, like I was the only rail fan.
Yeah, yeah.
They knew that coming in the door, but my work ethic at that time spoke for itself.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't get me wrong, I was as we would call foaming. I was
hmm
foaming in the back of my mind. They wouldn't have
Yeah,
known that because I was more interested
yeah,
in learning the job itself.
yeah. That's how I was. A few people knew who I was because they seen me, before I got hired out there, but I ain't bring it up or talk about it. It's a difference. You got different type of rail fans. You got the guys like us who turn their mess off when it's time for business. And you got the kind who just can't shake it. They just, that's all they know.
Well, to be honest, that's fair. That's all they know. But do you think all rail fans deserve a chance? Because let's just be honest, we are both rail fans, but
Yeah,
I can speak for myself. I know more successful rail fans in the field than people that are not successful.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, I think some of them deserve. I ain't gonna say all, man, because some of these guys, nah, they're some. It ain't for everybody, man. But some rail fans cool. I think they do, deserve a chance. Now I will say a lot of rail fans kind of do better because you already got a knowledge of stuff, uh, so it'd be a little bit easier picking it up compared to the person who don't know.
And I agree with that because I find it strange. I ain't gonna say strange, but to me it's kind of jaw jacking or mind jerking that you got a lot of rail fans that know more about these locomotives than the people that's actually running them.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Cause they'll say, "Man, I don't care about all that, man. I just want to get this train over the road and go to the hotel or go home or whatnot." Which is
Right.
absolutely nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah, yeah.
There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. But I'm gonna say this: my experience as a rail fan, that's a railroader, it wasn't the greatest, but it wasn't the worst.
Right. Yeah.
I've had a couple of people say that they think that I was weird when it came to it
hmm Yeah.
because you know sometimes I get off the train as far as switching in the yard. I get off the train about 12:30, 1 o'clock in the morning.
hmm
And instead of me going home, I'm going to watch the Norfolk Southern train fly out of Columbia going to Charleston and whatnot. 2 o'clock
Yeah,
in the
yeah,
morning.
yeah.
And, and one of my coworkers said, man, that we kind of find that weird. My thing about it is you're here for the money.
hmm
I'm here for the money, but I also enjoy what I do because it's what I love to do.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
My reason for being a railroader is different from your reason for being a railroader. But it
Exactly.
doesn't make my reason weird, no, it doesn't make it wrong.
Right, right.
So I'm not understanding where a lot of the flack come from when it comes to don't get me wrong, I understand a lot of railroaders are too giddy and they are more fascinated with the train than actually learning the job. I can understand that from that
hmm
standpoint. But I'm speaking for the ones who like us who may have had to conceal or hide the fact that we enjoy our job a little more than others.
Oh yeah, man. And I've went through that too, man. It's a lot of guys that don't. They don't like rail fans. They don't understand it. And they try to make you feel bad. They try to make it seem like you stupid or dumb for liking it. You know, I had a conversation. I said, well, what about, I think sitting in a tree, waiting on a deer all night is stupid, How would you feel about that? Or sitting at a racetrack, watching these cars for 2 hours going circles, I said, I mean, I get it. Some of these rail fans are annoying. I get annoyed by rail fans all the time and bombers. I'm like, leave me alone, man. I don't want to see you. I get out of work and get in my truck and I
Hey
probably,
man, and don't get me
probably
wrong,
dirt,
bro. Don't get me wrong. I have that exact same feeling when somebody hit my Facebook and I don't know who you is.
Yeah. Like, man,
It's
leave me
kind of like
alone.
it's like you don't want to be mean to them
Yeah.
because you know how it feel because you was once in them same shoes.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, like you say, man, leave me alone. I ain't got no
Yeah.
information to give, and even if I did, I'm not.
Yeah. Like, man, I'm finna go home. I'm not finna hang out. I mean, that's how I am now, I go home real quick. But
Yeah, the train be to wore you out, man.
yeah, I don't even wait around on trains no more, man. I'm so impatient now. If I'm out and the train ain't came within 30 minutes, I'm about ready to go back home.
I ain't gonna never be that impatient. I tried, man. I tried to wait it out, but the crazy thing about trains, you can wait and wait and wait, and that mug might not come. But the moment you get in your car, you go down the street,
Man,
there it goes.
I swear to God, man, it happens every time. I wait forever.
Mm.
Leave. And I'm like, ain't this, man, it happened the other day. I was trying to get CSX 911 in North Birmingham. And I sat there, and as soon as I pulled off, he knocked the brakes off. I said, man, you can't be serious.
Man, it be like that sometimes, man. But you know what they say when it comes to being a rail fan, you gotta have patience.
Yeah.
You gotta have patience. So, with me, man, I also had a crazy experience because the short line railroad that I worked for before I went to CSX, believe it or not,
Yeah.
everybody was a rail fan.
Really?
Everybody was rail fans at the short line that I came from. Everyone was rail fans, but you had a lot of them that were rail fans, but
Mm-hmm.
wouldn't admit it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, what's the point of you hiding what you love? If you enjoy your job that much,
Yeah. I
because like
think some people,
you think it's weird that people sit in a tree and just wait on the deer all night. I personally think it's weird that you sit on the job for 10, 20, 30 plus years and all you can find out, the only enjoyment that you get out of it is the money.
yeah. 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 Man, it's, I think some people, which I've been through the motions too, like, a lot of guys talk and, they kind of make you feel a little embarrassed. I done been through that before. I don't care now, but I used to feel kind of like embarrassed. Like, man, I don't want them to know. Or I don't want to say nothing. But more people find out. I don't care now. You know.
Yeah, that's true. True. Me personally, I didn't care that they knew I was a real fan. I'm here to do my
Yeah.
job.
I ain't gonna lie. I tried to hide it in the first couple of years or whatever. And whatever.
Okay, okay. So man, what is your okay, so you was with NS and then you went to the ATN. What was
Yeah.
the reason you left NS to go to ATN?
Yeah, I got in a little trouble, man. Something stupid and petty. Being a farmer, cell phones ain't allowed or whatever. I didn't have a bad record. I may have had a couple of things like maybe a run through switch and something like knocking a handbrake off the ground. But some, but I took a picture, man, and I shouldn't have did it. But it was a lesson I call it a blessing and lesson at the same time. A farmer snitched to me. I'm train master, a hater. I call him a hater. That's what it was. He screenshot it, sent to the train master, whatever. And they took me out of service. And, this thing by class, they do all that big top, man. We like you, man. You're a good worker, whatever. We hate to bring somebody else in new. Then 2 weeks pass, and well, they give you the goodbye letter or whatever. So it is what it is.
So you was fired or did they run you off for a while?
Yeah, pretty much out of service, and they pretty much told me, they ain't want me back or whatever. So I had already applied at ATN while I was off, so I was pretty much off a month. So like I said, it was a blessing and a lesson at the same time because I learned, even though he shouldn't have ratted on me, I shouldn't have did what I did. So that was my lesson to never do that again.
Right.
And the short line, it just like everything happened at a good time because after that happened, I found out, me and my wife, who, we were dating at the time, she was pregnant with our daughter. So that allowed me to be home for 4 years and not miss out on nothing.
Okay.
At home every day, off weekends, and get the short line experience, which that was 2018, fall 2018, when I started ATN. And it had some pros and cons, that the class one don't have. And what else? What were you asking? I don't want to get too far away from the
And
question.
that was pretty much it. Like, why did you leave the NS to go to the ATN?
Oh, okay, yeah, that's pretty much it. And, I stayed. And, did I miss it? Yeah, I miss it a lot, especially in the first couple of years. It was rough, man. I was like, man, just seeing these guys I work with, seeing these trains, man, I want to be back. I tried to get back or whatever, no luck. So I just stayed out there, and I moved up quick. I was holding a night job, weekends off, and then day job, and I stuck it out. I enjoyed it. I wish I stayed, to be honest.
Okay, so for those, we explain it a lot, but I'm gonna let you give it in depth. What is the vast difference of being a conductor of a class one compared to a short line? Because I know that life myself, but I'm gonna let you explain it because you could probably do it a little better since you left a class one, went to a short line, and then went back to a class one. I left a switch operation, went to a short line, and left a short line and went to a class one.
I would say it's easier going from a short line to class one than it was going from class one to short line. Because I worked in the yard at NS, but it was different because you had more options in class one. You got more manpower, you got more help, better engines, all kind of stuff. Short line is get it how you live. You out there busting down, man. You swinging in that yard. So I had to get used to doing a lot on my own. Not having a car man, doing this, inspecting my own stuff, and track warrants. That was new to me, so it was. It took a little while getting used to. I became a better switcher, and I like that. That's why I like working these locals now, because I get out there and switch, man. I'll be wide open.
Hey, for
But
real, man, when you working class, honestly, man, working short line, like you say, where you switching industries and working locals on class ones, that honestly make you a much better conductor.
yeah. I try to tell these new guys. I had a couple of CTs the past 2 weeks when I was up on that local. They're like, I want to be back on the road. I said, man, the road cool, but anybody can call signals and sit up there and be lazy. I said, you need to work this job again another week because you only seen it one day. I said, the better you work up here, the better you're going to get or whatever. The more you work up it, the better you're going to get and learn this stuff. And, I try to let them do stuff and whatever. But, that some of them might get it soon, but they was kind of nervous or whatever. But other than that, yeah, it's the class, the short line has its advantages. Like I said, being home every day, off weekend. At least where I was at, we was off weekends, holidays. It was nice. The management is more laid back. You ain't got much BS to deal with. So
Now that's true. That is very true.
yeah, it was less stressful in some ways. So, but the money, I came back. One of my buddies, he was talking to me and coming back. He kind of persuaded me. He was like, man, we're making more money now. Which they are. They making way more money than when I was at the NS the first time. But the money is what drew me back.
Okay.
But I kind of wish I stayed because, of course, the short line is making more now. So, like, man.
So, man, is the ATN? The ATN is a union?
Yeah, union. So I never lost any of that, railroad retirement.
Okay. So, also, like since you went from a class one to a short line, was that a major decrease in pay? Of course.
Yeah. When I got the ATM, man, it was making 24 an hour. Engineers was making 25, and at NS I was making like $31. So it was, back then. And
Okay, man.
I was at 85%. NS got that step rate BS. So
Yeah, man. Because I came to CSX, we was 100%.
Yeah, they do 100, man. I like that.
It was 100%. Compared to the short line that I was at, when I left, I was only making 20.50 an hour.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
even when you being at at that short line at the ATN, you was still smoking me in money because y'all was making what $4 or $5 more, and that's just as a
yeah,
conductor.
yeah. And then the job I was on that Birmingham job, we interchanged with CSX, so that was 12 almost every day. So I was still making some decent money.
Okay. So even though it's a significant difference in your check, you were still able to maintain the lifestyle that you was living at that point in time.
Yeah. I was. So
Okay, so you ain't fall off too bad or whatnot.
no,
So
no, it wasn't bad.
so I know shortly before you went back to the NS, you was actually training to be an engineer.
Yeah. I had my student car. I like how they do that out there. Compared to NS, they send you to school, then you got to be LET for 6 months, I think. Out there, you get your student car, you can go ahead and start running. You got to get 100 some hours in before you can go to training to school or whatever. So I had like 100 hours, so I got my experience in running, and I'm glad I got that. I'm trying to stay put so I can become an engineer. I would be one if I was still in this. I would have been a qualified engineer this summer
Oh wow.
with my seniority. But yeah, I got my experience in running on them old engines with no dynamics and stuff. So I learned some stuff.
So man, ultimately, for a lot of people that don't understand what we're saying in so many words, working on a lot of short line railroads are still running old school style.
Hmm.
So, like you said, you got a lot of locomotives without no dynamics. You got a lot of standard cab engines. You got a lot of high hoods, depending on where
No,
you at.
no AC.
No AC, probably no heat too. Um, Working those short lines actually make you appreciate and have more respect for the railroaders of the past,
Yeah, definitely.
because we might. I'm not saying you or anybody else. We might get in one of those engines without AC and complain about it. Back in the
Hmm.
day, that was their normal.
Yeah.
Those are just diesel locomotives. We're not talking about steam engines. You ain't got no air conditioner up there. You got heat.
Yeah.
You got
Yeah,
heat
I
all
look
day
at
but on,
that.
but you ain't got no air conditioning. So just imagine running down the line 40, 50 miles an hour. You ain't got no air conditioning. The only source of air you got is sticking your head out the window, which may
Yeah,
not even open.
yeah. Now it wouldn't be bad going that fast, but imagine doing 10 with no AC.
Woo.
Ooh,
Oh,
boy, that's terrible. And it
okay.
get hot. It get hot down here in June and July, August.
You down there in Alabama, y'all up there in the mountains a little bit.
Man, it get hot. But well, another thing about the short line, man, we did a I don't know about when you was at. We had vehicles, so the conductor was driving a lot,
Same
and
thing, same thing.
so the engineer up there by himself, that's different. We had crew phones, little flip phones, and you just driving there was a conductor, so you kind of got freelance until you get to where you're going. So
So explain that to people. For those of you who don't know, a lot of short line railroads don't allow the conductors to ride the train. The engineer is up there by himself. A lot of times, most times, it's because at least down south, a lot of short lines don't have signals.
hmm
They don't have signals, so they're actually running at 25 miles an hour. So a lot of them feel like there's no need to have a conductor up there. We can have the conductor drive a truck. He's going to beat the train to the location and get the switches and
right,
stuff lined up before the train gets there. So once the train get there, they can just break off the
yeah,
power or pull off the cars that need to be switched. Do your switching real quick, and then get back on it. Train going by this business, conductor back in the car, and you
yep.
know
And you drive yourself back to the terminal. Train mouse ain't got to be running around picking you up, so you drive yourself back.
and they don't have crew vans for short lines. That's
Right.
why that also is the purpose. They don't have crew vans, so you need a way to get back to the terminal in case you tie down a train at a location that is not in the
Hmm.
terminal.
Right. Yeah, because them train masters out there, at least ours, man. Sometimes he would be at home, go home early, or just want to stay at the office all day. So
So all in all, man, what is your relationship with the ATN guys now that you went back to Norfolk Southern? Because I know they might have felt some type of way when you left. Do you keep in contact with them? Do you even talk to them?
Yeah, ATN.
Yes.
Oh yeah. I still do, man. I see them guys all the time when I'm going out to get pictures of them. I talked to at least 3 of them. You know, a lot. I'm friends with them on Facebook. So yeah, we still cool. Yeah,
Man, I know you miss being out there on the ATN though.
yeah, man. I ain't gonna lie, yeah, I miss it, man. I miss the laid backness, man. And like I said, I had a lot of vacation built up, a lot of time, and now I'm having to try to build all that back. So it's
Yeah, that's
still what it is.
it's crazy, man. You know, it's just so crazy to sit here and think about how vastly different running on a short line is compared to running to a class one. Same type of operations to a degree, because I don't think a lot of short lines got intermodals. Or
Yeah.
you have a lot. Some of them have a lot of coal trains, but they don't necessarily have intermodals. But just
Hmm.
you guys are the same world, but you're vastly different.
Yeah, yeah,
You got the
yep.
short line guys that you run 25 miles an hour, but you may not make as much money as a class one, but the money that you don't make is compensated with better time at home.
Yeah. You got your perks, yeah, on time and
But
less.
working at a class one, you make more money. The downside is you gone a lot depending on your location. But the upside of being gone is you may reach your destination a whole lot faster because you could run
Yeah, yeah,
50 and 60 miles an hour.
yeah. And then if you like to be gone, you get to go to the hotel and depending on what city you're going to, you might have some cool stuff to do or whatever, and you get more options where you can. Hey, I want to be in the yard this week. Or I want to be on the road. I want to go on this local if you can. So
Now that's also depending on if you can hold the seniority to beat out
yeah,
the
yeah,
person that's ahead of you who got the seniority.
yeah. That's true. Like I said, I've been back almost 3 years now. I can. It's a certain locals I can get on because don't nobody want to work them. They don't want to do all the switching. So
So
yeah.
do you prefer being on the local or being on the road?
I kind of like them locals, man, because you hardly see a train master. You doing your own. You know what you're gonna do. Okay, I got to work this customer today. I can do this, and then on my Friday I can set it up where I can get out of there early. And you talk to your train master when you go on duty. Other than that, unless you need something, you don't talk to him. You do your thing. You pretty much control your own night.
Right, right.
But
So,
I like the road though.
hey, man, nothing beats getting on and getting on and getting off.
Yeah, I ain't been on the road since early July, so I've been
Oh, so
I've been
you've been gone for a while.
I've been holding locals with Friday, Saturday off, or Sunday, Monday, or I've been in the yard on the remote board. Which, so that's what I've been doing: locals and remote board. So
Man, what is it like running an RCO, man? Because honestly, as a railroader, that's my biggest fear right there. I'm
I
not gonna
like
say fear,
it's
but that's
cool.
probably what gives me the most anxiety. Where I'm at, out of
Yeah.
Casey, we're not RCO location because of the fact that on both sides of the hill, I mean both sides of the yard, you got a hill, and then you have signals that govern both ends of the
Mhm.
yard.
Yeah.
So
Well.
we switch on air. We can't kick cars.
Oh, okay. Okay. You said they got remotes up there.
Well, not at my location in Florence and Charleston, South Carolina. They run remotes, but here in
Okay.
Casey for CSX, no remotes. You got an engineer in the seat,
Okay. I got you.
and we
I
switch on
like it,
air. We
man.
can't
It's
kick.
I didn't want it at first. I was mad when I got forced 2 years ago. I didn't want it, but I'm glad I got it now because I got that option to go to the yard if I want to. And you got some good yard jobs with schedules. I can't hold the good ones right now, but you just never know. But I like working in the bowl because man, you working at what you ain't got to talk to no engineer or nothing. You coupling up, give yourself 3 step. And I walk them tracks. I can take my time. I ain't got to get no hurry, especially at night, man. I just walk the tracks, make sure everything coupled up, ride it out. It's peaceful. Or you can work the hump. Like I worked the hump last night, so it ain't bad, man.
Hmm.
It's pretty cool. You controlling the engine once you learn it. It's pretty cool.
So typically, when you running the hump, how many lists do you get done in a day? Like how many trains do you typically build?
Uh, on the hump, you probably hump, let's see, in an 8-hour shift, I might hump 4 tracks. You know, we got 2 hump jobs per shift. So I hump a track. It normally take 50 minutes to an hour to hump a track, sometimes a little longer. So I hump a track, he hump the track. I hump the next track. So
Also, y'all basically take turns on the hump.
yeah. So you get while he humping, you going to get on another one, then you get some downtime to sit until he done in the hump shack, just chilling.
Okay. So
Yeah.
let me guess, y'all use the same power.
Now that's 2 hump sets.
All right, cool. Man, you living life
SC40
down there.
slug. Yeah. Oh, crap. Yeah, on the other job in the bowl where you building trains, now that's you're doing a lot of walking on that end because you walking tracks and riding it out. It takes they normally have 2 jobs, sometimes 3. It take about a hour, a little over an hour to build one train, depending how long it is.
Okay. Well, down here where, like I said, in Casey, we have the switch on air. We got an engineer on the end of the seat. Down in Sumter, we got an engineer in the seat, but we kick cars.
Okay.
We kick the cars down there in Sumter when we flat yard switching, Man, for people who don't know what kicking cars is, it's basically you got an engineer or, like you said, RCO box. You mash a button on the RCO box and the engine gives the cars a push.
Mhm.
And where you're at, you are lifting the cut lever. So once that engine gives that car a push, push that car, let it go. You cut the car from the rest of the train and that car free roll to whatever track you got to switch line for.
Right. Yeah. We can do that in the bowl. You can't do it on the hump because it's you up on the hill, but you can do it down where it's flat.
So how
And
do
we got
y'all do that on the hill?
well, I mean, you can hump the cars, but you can't like kick it at a faster speed.
Oh, okay. So you
'Cause-
basically doing the same thing, you just not kicking it.
yeah. You got to be down flat, whereas not on the hump
All right, cool.
or up on the hill or whatever. But yeah, we got a couple yards where you can kick, of course. But yeah, I like kicking.
Now, of course, you said that the money was ultimately the reason that you went back to the NS. When you went back to the NS, did you surprise a lot of people, or was a lot of people happy to see you there? The ones who might have been there before when you was there.
Yeah. A lot of people surprised and didn't know I was coming back. They was like, "Man, I thought I saw your name." And of course, everybody asked why I came back and like how long I was gone, and they didn't. There was a lot of people surprised and happy, and so that was a good feeling. A lot of seeing all the cool people I used to work with on the road and stuff, and it was nice to be back. So
Would you feel like going back to the NS vindicated or made everything whole again?
yeah, the feelings I used to have, like man, I used to think about it, like I said, 18 the first 2 years or whatever, like around that same time while I left or whatever. That feeling kind of went away. I'm like, I'm back now. Back on these road trains doing what I do, going down the rails at faster speeds. It kind of felt like home again.
Yeah,
So,
that's understandable. Okay, so since you went back to the NS, and like you said, you're married, you have 3 children.
yeah.
When you initially came out to the NS, you only had your son, right?
Yeah. I was still, doing my thing, solo, whatever.
And then when you left, when you was dismissed from the NS, you end up having a daughter.
Yeah. I was of course, I was dating my wife, 2018, of course, and yeah,
And
had our
now,
daughter in 2019. So,
you have 3 kids because you have an additional daughter.
yep.
Since you went back to the NS, has that affected your family life?
A little. It when I was on the road, because of course when Jamie, my last, my 2-year-old, almost 3, she was born January 10th, and I went to McDonald's February 3rd or February 6th, so it was fresh. She was only a month old. That was tough being down there 3 weeks. I mean, I came home the weekend, but that was a little rough. And then I was on the road training, but since I've been in the yard and stuff, I ain't missed out on a whole lot being in the yard. A lot of stuff worked out, and I've been able to get vacation days and stuff. So
So
Yeah,
you right now you would much rather be in the yard or local than on the road.
yeah. Because the way I don't know how CSX is, but on NS, our off days rotate, and we are in different groups. Like I'm in B group. I'm off. I was off Tuesday, Wednesday this week. Next week is Wednesday, Thursday. Then I'm gonna be off Thursday and Friday, the week of Christmas. So I'm gonna get Christmas and the day after off. That's
Okay.
gonna work out good.
That's dope, man. Cause see here with CSX, when of course I'm not there right now, but CSX when you're on the extra board, you only get one guaranteed day off.
Right, I see. Yeah. I
But
like how we got it, and that's probably gonna change when UP take over. But I like the two. We guaranteed 2 off days every week on the extra board. And like I said, they rotate. Even if you get called before your off day start, you're gonna get them whenever you get off. So
okay, I'm just gonna touch bases on that because see, like I said, we get one day off on the one guaranteed day off on the extra board, but we may not work every day on the extra board either. So
yeah.
essentially you got a few days off before you get called again.
Yeah. That's how it was when I first. And we had 40 some people on the road board, man. It was, of course, it ain't that many no more. But you will go out of town, come back. You was gonna be at home 3 days. So
Yeah, man, because y'all got rotating days off. We bid on nowadays.
I mean, see, that's different, man. Yeah, I like how our system. We got them guaranteed off days. Whatever group you in, each group gets their 2 a week. So
Cool, man. So this is the segment we're gonna talk about your stories as a railroader. Like, what are some of the things that you experienced as far as your trips, wild stuff you'd have seen from the cab, things that you've seen at the locals, different industries and stuff
yeah,
like that. Because one thing I say about people, just people in general, we all got some crazy stories, some silly and funny stories. But as a railroader, meeting other railroaders, I have never heard a dull story.
give me 1 second.
Norfolk Southern Train 238, Gaston, South Carolina. We got a pair of C6M-9 rebuilds on the point. Here they come. Norfolk Southern 238, Gaston, South Carolina.
Okay, yeah, man. I got some crazy, good and bad stories, man. I had a bunch of. Ain't nothing like a good trip working with an engineer you like or one of your buddies, man. It made the trip so much better, especially when you talk the whole time. It just make a big difference. It keeps you awake, compared to them engineers who arrogant or just don't. You got some engineers don't say nothing. It's just quiet and boring. Man, I think my favorite trip to this day is catching that UP business train in 2017. That was fun. Being on something important, everybody chasing you, getting pictures, then getting to walk through that train and see it, getting a tour, seeing all them cars with the bedrooms, weight rooms, all that stuff. That was cool.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Man, like I said, man, you being in Birmingham, man, you get to rail fan some of the craziest stuff, but you also get to be on some of the craziest stuff if your number get called.
Yeah. And I have other good trips where you had train races and stuff, like going down track 1, track 2, train on beside you, both of y'all doing 50, and you on a 60-mile-per-hour train, and y'all side by side going through the crossings, blowing the horn, everybody looking like, what's going on?
Train race.
That was one of my favorite. Was going towards Bessemer. Was coming over to Interlochen downtown. We had a short pig Intermo train, and we caught up with their head in. We were side by side for like 2 minutes. Then we finally left them doing 60, whatever. That was cool. A memorable moment. I had some other memorable moments too, but had some bad ones where, of course, one of the worst things on the railroad is trespassing and hitting a car or something. My first incident was 2016. Like we hit an 18-wheeler. It wasn't bad. He shot the train. We pushed it over a little bit. Trailer. He got stuck on the track, but that shook me up a little bit. We just moved it a little. Had to wait for it to get moved and all that stuff. But the freaking next day, man, one of the worst experiences railroad can go through. We hit this old lady on the track. She just stood there in the track, waited on us to hit her. We did everything we could, we blowing the horn or whatever. She didn't move, so shot the train, waited on everybody to get out there, whatever. They sent us home. Which back then it sucked. NS didn't do like CSX do. They give you 3 days off. They send you home, put you right back on duty. So I freaking marked off. I was like, man, I can't work after this. So that messed me up. And I had another fatality a few months later, like February 2017.
Sheesh.
Same deal, dude, walking in the track. I'd say he did it on, we think he did it on purpose. He was walking towards us, looking down. He never looked up, and we was running 35. That one was pretty bad. It's just something you never forget, man. I don't want to go too detailed and freak nobody out,
Yeah, that's understandable, man. But, we tell these stories like this for a reason because, I've only had one crossing accident. By the grace of God, the lady survived. I was on a shove movement on the short line, and we was coming down the hill about to get ready to drop our train for the weekend in a ADM plant. And my MTO, he was in his personal truck. He was flagging the crossings because that particular railroad is more rural based, and it's not a whole lot of crossings that actually got lights and gates. So he pulled in the middle of the track and he got out and he was basically like flagging. It was one of those crossings where it's really like you wouldn't know it was there until you know it's there.
Right.
And he was in the middle of the crossing, flagging it, and then as I got closer and come around the curve, a lady was coming behind him. She never looked up to see him warning her or anything like that for her to stop.
Yeah.
He got in his personal vehicle because he wasn't going to screw that up, drove off of the tracks, and she pulled right in behind him. We smacked it. And mind you, it was on a shove movement, so I was on the back.
Wow.
I was on the car. I was actually on a tank.
Damn, so
and
that's
I had
dangerous.
to
Yeah, that could be bad.
I had to jump off of the tank. You know what I mean? I'm flying like I'm Superman, and I
Yeah,
hit the ground like hell. But by the graces of God, she survived. We was only going like maybe 10 miles an hour.
yeah,
But you know, it don't matter how fast or how slow you're going. That's a traumatic experience that can still take you out of it.
yeah. That could have been bad, man. Yeah, yeah.
So I, by the graces of God, that was the only experience that I've had. You know, she, like I said, she survived. She actually had a heart attack later, if I'm not mistaken. But you know, I think she survived that as well. But you know,
Yeah.
just from the cab of a CSX locomotive, we bearing down on the crossing, and you got people darting out in front of you. People don't know how
Hmm.
nerve wracking that is.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, man. I done had so many close calls, man. Like have your heart being like, golly, man, like come on.
All
And
right, so speaking of stories, you told us about what you consider your favorite run running the UP train. Do you remember your first trip? Because if I'm not mistaken, you was
yeah,
on NS 172.
yeah, I never forget that, man. The engineer I was working with, he's still out here. He a conductor now. He on the ground working. But I never forget that trip, man. It was just so exciting. Like got that phone call, and all my buddies, I used to hang out with back then. One of my buddies, Jeff, which he did railroad for a little bit. He drive trucks now. He was out there, and a couple more people I Irondale hung out with. They was all out there waiting on me, man. The conductor always say, man, you famous, ain't it? And yeah, that was cool, man. Get on that ES40. I was like, man, I'm finally up here. And it was a long night, but it was cool to be up there, you know.
172. Y'all just changed crews in Atlanta. Y'all didn't
Yeah,
go
that
into
was
New York.
man, that was one of the best trains. It was swap out. It was swap out on all ends. Meridian, it was a swap out there. Birmingham, step on, step off. Yeah, it went all the way to Linwood.
Yeah, that is right. It did go all the way to Linwood.
Yeah. Yeah, so that was a memorable trip. And the second trip too, because we caught a 298 relief. We went to Lydia Springs. That was my first time getting rained on. I didn't have a raincoat, and we had a 8,000 feet auto wreck train in Emmett Yard,
Mm,
and it poured down. I said I got broken in good.
I know,
It
right?
was
So
we had to put on
that was
our
your
old
return
clothes.
trip.
We was on a relief in a train that didn't make it, and we were so soaked we had to put on our clothes that we wore the day before. So
Sheesh. Do
yeah.
you remember your first intermodal?
As qualified or trainee?
Either or.
Yeah, my first intermodal was cool. Getting to be on something fast, man. The engineer I was with, he ran pretty hot. And qualified my first engineer. I mean, I finally went to the yard got out the yard February 2016, and I was on the UP GVO. It was on 226, which is now 28J, the UP from the West Coast.
Blue Street?
Yep, I was on it, and that was my first time in Emmett Yard by myself. I was kind of nervous, but I learned it pretty quick because Emmett is a big yard.
Right.
I had a map, and I asked the engineer questions, so I figured out how to get around.
Cool, man. So you work Irondale Yard as a humper, or what is the vast difference between working the yard that you were stationed out of versus being in that away terminal? Because I would expect for a railroader to be more nervous at the away terminal than your home terminal. Because you
Yeah,
really don't know what
yeah,
MTO, who's the MTO or whatnot. It's just more foreign being in the away terminal versus your home terminal.
yeah. My only thing with away terminals is I haven't been everywhere in the yard in some places. Some places is new, like I ain't never been here before. You kind of hesitant going down a certain track, but you know what you're doing, so you just pay attention. And like I said, I try to study maps, but that's my only issue. Like it's some parts in Emmett Yard I never been in, and I went in the first time, even months ago. I was like, this is new.
It'd be
I
like
just I just stopped and hey, look at the switch and try to until I get back familiar where I'm at. But that's the only thing really. Just making sure I'm going the right way or whatever, and doing the right thing. And but That's the difference. When you at your home terminal, it's like you know your house, you know.
Right. You're right. You're right. Absolutely right. So far between your years at NS the first time around, of course, I know quite a few trains from NS at that point are no longer or have been renumbered.
Mhm.
Working at the ATN and then coming back to the NS. What is the one train that you actually worked on that you've always wanted to work on? Or the
Uh,
train that you anticipate the most getting called for?
oh, yeah. See, coming back, it's new. I think they started at 2021 or 22, where you go all directions. Because I was just East End to Atlanta and West End to Sheffield and Birmingham. But going to Meridian, that's something I always wanted to do. Just AGS South, 60 miles per hour. Catching that, it's now 29K. It was 219. The hot shot KCS.
Uh-huh.
Catching that at 2 in the morning, getting to Meridian in 4 hours, and coming back home within the same day. That's how fast it is now.
Ooh.
Yeah, so I caught the hot shot down and back. So that's how I always wanted to do that. And I got lucky that time. So
You ever caught a hot shot going and then got a slow drag coming, going back?
that's all the time going to Atlanta. And you go over to Atlanta on a hot shot UP train as fast and come back on freaking 153. It's one of the worst trains.
Yeah, 153. Mm-hmm.
Yes. I'm gonna heavy.
You guys still got 334, right? 334, 335?
Nah, them trains been gone since before I started. They run somewhere else now. They don't run here. But we lost them in 2013.
Okay. And 333, 334, those were the Birmingham to Columbus trains, right?
Sheffield to Columbus.
Was it Sheffield Columbus? Okay.
Yeah. And was 172 still run? It just run, I think, out of Chattanooga somewhere. And they just
Yeah, because they basically just messed up all the signals of what symbols. Because my favorite train was the Norfolk Southern 238 intermodal out of Atlanta going to Charleston, South Carolina. But since they don't renamed everything and get scrambled it up, it now runs out of if I'm not mistaken, Ohio some way, but it's still an intermodal.
Yeah, they changed a lot, man. They was doing all that when I was at HEM, man. They had all them people come in and management and whoever that lady was, Cindy. A lot of people don't like her. They said she messed up everything. She came from being herself, I think. Sanborn, and she's the reason why Emmett has freight in it now. Half the yard at Emmett now is freight, where it used to be all intermodal.
That's right, it was.
So half of it is freight now, and half is intermodal. They said she did that.
So back to your rail fanning thing, man. One of the lines that very much intrigues me out of Alabama is the P line.
P line, oh man, y'all, that P line is. I like it. They still got all the old Southern signals, man. It's the old Central Georgia.
That's right. What trains run the P line now? Because I'm not mistaken, 334, 335 used to run via the P line.
Yeah, they had 6 freight trains. When I first started rail fanning, it was 6 freight trains a day. Now it's been 2 trains a day for years now. We got coal trains, but they only run to Wilsonville, which is 20 miles south of Irondale. So
you really ain't go no way.
Yeah, so they run them coal trains down there, and they just run 379, 378 daily. That's it.
Okay, yeah, man. That line seems like it's very scenic.
It is, man. It's pretty. It's coming out of Irondale. It's hilly. They got some hills to climb. They got 2 tunnels within a mile of each other.
Right.
And when I get over that mountain, man, that's a tough line to chase on. You get burned real bad on that line. So I don't try to chase down there.
So isn't that the line that goes through Phoenix City?
Yep, that's right.
All right, yeah, because I'm friends with one of the guys that does a lot of videos on that line. What's his name? Greg Hold.
Yeah. I talk to Greg all the time. He's pretty cool.
Yeah, he is a pretty cool guy. And
Well,
you
yeah,
don't ever go to what is that area? I believe it's Opelika.
I don't ever get down there, man. It's kind of out of the way. I would like to, but it's way down there, man. It's almost near Auburn.
Okay, so
It's
that's more on
about
the
2 hours away.
so that's more on the Montgomery side.
Yeah.
Oh, all right,
I
cool.
just don't get that far, man. But yeah, that feline is cool, man. Like I said, 2 a day. They run a couple locals. Every now and then they'll run one of them detour being and self cold trains.
Okay.
That way they can't run intermodal because of the tunnels. So
If I'm not mistaken, didn't they run the Orient Express, the American Orient Express over that line?
yeah, I think that was in '08. It could have been before '08, but I remember that. I wish I knew about that back then. But yeah, they ran that. Yeah,
Man, you guys got a lot of stuff down there in Alabama. I'm envious you.
yeah,
I'm envious of you, man,
man.
because y'all
It's
got
still good. You know, it ain't what it used to be, but it's still pretty decent. It ain't completely, done. It's still pretty decent.
well, what you call consider decent is a whole lot better than what we got in Columbia. A whole lot
Maybe
better.
maybe like some people say, you just spoiled and you know.
I wouldn't even say that, man, because like I said, for me, we used to have the 337, 338 combo that ran from Charleston, South Carolina to
Mhm.
Linwood. You had the 155, 156 from Savannah to Linwood. You had the
Yeah.
191, 192, which ran from Macon to Columbia.
Hmm.
Um, then back at that point in time when I was rail fanning, you only had 28T, 27T auto rack trains from Charleston to and from Charleston and Greer. You had the 238 intermodals from Atlanta that went to Charleston. Um, Now they added another train once they opened up that inland port in Greer, South Carolina. They gave us the 21D, which is now 296, 297.
Yeah.
Um, a lot of coal. Well, not a lot of coal trains. The coal trains on the NS always kind of been sporadic. They'll come and go,
Hmm.
but you had a
Yeah.
lot of grain traffic. But then, like I said, you still had the Ringler Brothers train once or twice out of the year. Of course, we had one stopping in Columbia because it was a show, but then you might have one passing through town coming from Charleston. You just
Hmm.
had the James Straits train, this Carnival train that went down to Augusta. Um, of course, you got the Masters train every year that came down the
Yeah.
R
Yeah.
line going to Augusta. So it's just vastly different compared to now because even though that was then, you had this a whole lot of it cut out. Now that's counting Norfolk Southern. That's
Hmm.
not counting the stuff on CSX that got cut out.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
That
Yeah. They
that's
both
not that's not
pretty much
counting
the
their
same thing.
stuff.
Yeah, they both kind of copied each other well, and that's like do copycat. So they both pretty much was doing the same thing. So yeah,
Well, you said it,
they
not me.
both they both changed symbols and cut off trains. Like we lost a lot of intermodals we used to have, man. So
So, speaking of which, what are your thoughts on the potential Norfolk Southern UP merger? Because it still got to be approved by the STB.
yeah, I keep seeing stuff about it. A lot of people don't want it, but man, I don't know. I know how UP is, especially talking to my boy Eugene. He work over there. Him, CJ, all them.
Yeah, out of Arkansas.
You talk about how Vina is that they CEO Vina. He came from one of the Canadian railroads, so you know how they do. He all they got UP got that strict attendance policy compared to ours and the point system, whatever. And they just as strict as in there some stuff. So I don't know. The money will be good, which I hear when they take over, it ain't gonna be immediately. It'll be a couple years before everything starts to take effect.
Right.
So I mean, the money they make, that would be great. But as far as adapting all their ways and stuff, it's pretty much gonna be UP's way. So it'd be learning a new system, new rules, all that stuff, and I don't know.
Man, I'm gonna just say this: if that merger go through and it gets approved by the STB, my heart is instantly broken. Because just like you, man, I'm a Norfolk Southern guy.
Yeah, there ain't gonna be no more in there, and they're gonna shut down some yards. You already know that.
Yes, a lot of yards could get shut down, man. I'm an NS guy. Because for me, it's just something about that horse, man.
Yeah, yeah,
It's just
yeah,
something about that thoroughbred horse on his rear legs, man. It's just something about that, about them units, man.
yeah. It's crazy, man. I never seen that coming. I ain't think that was gonna happen. Nothing like that was gonna happen after CP and KCS.
You know, if you really think about it, it's really a response to it.
Yeah, yeah. And,
Because a lot of people, back in the day, I would have expected Norfolk Southern to take over KCS,
yeah.
considering
That's
the
what I thought.
Meridian
Yeah,
South.
yep. That's what I figured. KCS and NS would emerge.
That would have made more sense in some of our eyes.
Mm-hmm. But hey, man, they're gonna do what they want. I keep hearing it's already done, but I guess until it get approved, it ain't done. I keep hearing it's already a done deal, so who knows?
Yeah, I mean, it's a done deal, but if the STB say no, that ain't going nowhere.
Right? Yeah, yeah. So yeah, guess we're gonna wait and see about that. But I mean, I'm not too big on it. Like I said, the only thing I care about is making the money they make, because NS is like the lowest paying class one.
Yeah, y'all would go from the lowest paid to instantly the highest paid.
Yeah, that'll be the best thing, because NS don't want to pay nothing.
Well, I plead the fifth. Like I said, I came in at 100% at CSX.
Yeah, that's what I almost went to CSX, man. But I just stayed, which NS got that in the union. You can't, if you leave to another railroad within 3 years, you have to pay some money back. So yeah, it's crazy. I guess in February I've been there 3 years, so if I want to leave, I can leave without no.
Man, I just seen somebody posted saying that BNSF was actually hiring conductors out of y'all area.
Yeah, I seen that too, man. They probably ain't mean it. They rarely hire down here, and you either get bumped or furloughed. They do that right down here. They got that system wide, so you might get bumped and have to move to Memphis or Arkansas or something.
Yeah, that's understandable.
But I actually tried to apply for them before I went back to NS. It was October 2022. I took the test and I got what I call the FU email. Pretty much. Thank you, but no thanks. I thought I was gonna get on. I started learning these signals and everything, but
It be like that, man.
it wasn't meant for me. So
Well, that's just how the cookie crumbles. God put you where He needed you to be at the beginning.
yeah,
And then
yeah,
when your child was about to be born, He put you where you needed to be so you could be
hmm
home.
yeah,
And then now that your children are, a little older, you could go back on the road. Now, like as you're doing right
hmm
now, you're making a whole lot more money than what you was.
yeah, yeah. So yeah, yeah. Well, I say it was a blessing and lesson at the same time.
All right, so this is where I allow my guests to give the newcomers that's coming in and the future generations of railroaders advice. What is some of the advice that you could give these guys that's contemplating wanting to come into the field, or children that's that's going to watch this video and say, I aspire to be a conductor or engineer? Because me, off of the bat, the one thing I'm gonna say is, and this is just my opinion, the railroad already have a stigma when it comes to hiring rail fans.
yep,
Keep your nose clean as much as you can.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Definitely. It's it's different. It's like a light switch, night and day. Like when I'm at work, I'm not in real fan mode. I mean, sometimes I am if I'm, not doing much and I see certain engines, I'm like, man, dang, I wish I was out for, you know. But yeah, yeah. You gotta turn that switch off and focus. Definitely gotta focus. You can get hurt easy or mess up, do the wrong thing, get sidetracked, and you like, dang, I lost count of that car, or ran through a switch or something. It's so easy. But it's a good job, man. It ain't for everybody. I always say that it's not for everybody. Like, sometimes I want to quit, but I ain't I ain't quit yet, so hey, it's something that's keeping me there. But I say, man, if you want to do it, go for it. It's a good paying job. It's a lifestyle. It ain't cashiering at the drive-thru at McDonald's. It ain't pushing carts at Walmart. It's a career and a lifestyle. A lot of people you can't talk to them older guys, man. They'll kill your mood. Don't do it, man. It's terrible. You don't want to be out here. They'll kill your whole mood. I know one guy, he applied and he said he didn't like it. Them older guys, a lot of people he was around just killed this whole vibe and he didn't want it no more. So you got to be careful who you ask or talk to. I like it. A lot of people say you won't have a life. That's not true. I'm having a life. You're going to miss some stuff. You're not going to make everything. But I mean, that's in a job. You could be working on the oil rig where you're gone for months. So, I mean,
that's very good.
You might miss 1 day or 2 days, then be at home for 3. So, you'll have some good moments. But some more advice, man. If you come out to it, just pay attention, learn. Don't never be too cocky, too confident. Be humble. It just be smooth, man. Ride it out. You might want to move up to management, dispatch. You don't have to stay in the same field. You don't have to always be a conductor. You can go be a dispatcher, or you can go get in the mechanical side, anything. So it's room to move around. So
Indeed.
yeah.
All right, and last but not least, this is a segment that I have to call out. It's called your picture perfect run. As I explained to you earlier, your picture perfect run is basically your idea of the train that you would want to run. You get to choose the subdivision, the type of power on your train, the type of train you want to run, the time of the year, and the type of weather, of course, the time of day, and you can cross subdivisions. And what I mean by that, you can have like a Norfolk Southern train on the CSX subdivision, or
Yeah.
A BNSF train on an actual BNSF train running a CSX subdivision or something like that.
Yeah.
So what is your picture perfect run, man?
Man,
And you could get more than one if you desire to do so.
yeah. I ain't been a whole lot of places. I done traveled a little bit. It's gonna definitely be West Coast. I love watching them West Coast videos. Them boys get down out there 70. I wanna see how it feels so bad to run 70, 75 on the intermodal. Give me a UP or BNSF hot train with 3 or 4 ES44s or Ace, just Arizona, New Mexico, just getting down through the desert, just 70 miles per hour. I'm talking about cooking. That's my perfect. But other than that, I would take a UP train. I went to the Moffat Tunnel because Colorado, ATN sends you to Colorado for training. That was another one of my blessings. I probably would have never seen Colorado if I didn't get hired. So I was out there for 2 weeks and I went to that Moffat Tunnel line. Man, pretty. I'm talking about mountains, curves, like 20 some tunnels on that line. That's really why I would like to run. Ideal train out there would be Amtrak from Denver to Utah. I'm talking, man, that would be me. That's something I would love to do.
Hey man, me personally, my picture perfect run, I have quite a few of them. But one of the runs I tell people about most often, I know you might have heard of this train back in the day. Out of this train used to actually run on the old Saluda grade.
Okay.
So this is Norfolk. I'm not so sure what the symbol was way back when, but when I got into rail fan, it was called the 66E for Norfolk Southern.
Yeah.
66E had to run on CSX rails to get to its destination, as far as actually its point of origin.
Mm.
So what it was a wood chip train. when they would leave Columbia, they would go north on the W line, the Norfolk Southern W line to actually they never got out of Columbia. It would run to a junction named Elmwood Junction. Elmwood Junction is where the CSX Hamlet subdivision and the Norfolk Southern W line, they would basically go under a highway underpass, come together, then they would split off on the other side.
Yeah, yeah.
You would take the Norfolk Southern W line out of Columbia to that junction, go up the W line, clear the switch, shove the train back down onto the CSX Hamlet subdivision,
Hmm.
and you would shove past another switch, and that switch would take you onto the CNNL, which is the Columbia, Newberry, and Lawrence Railroad, which is CSX.
Okay.
You would take that up to a town named Newberry, South Carolina, and when
Yeah.
you get to Newberry, Norfolk Southern used to have home rails in Newberry that came in off of the old Broad River Bridge up here, and if I'm not mistaken, like Pomona or Peak, South Carolina, off of the W line, they stopped running up that line because of the bridge maintenance.
Mm.
You would run up to Newberry, then you would get back on NS rails, and you'll take those rails maybe probably about 5 to 10 miles out of Newberry to a wood chip plant.
Yeah, yeah.
Then load the train up. By the way, these
Okay.
trains was ran
Okay.
by NS crews. They just was qualified on CSX territory.
Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah. Okay. That's pretty cool.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then when the train was loaded, NS crew go back up there, get the authority to run on the CSX line, come back down, do the reverse movement, the same thing, get in town, back in Columbia, shove back through that same junction, come back on to the NSW line, and a lot
Yeah.
of times they either would go into Andrews Yard and the crew would get dispatched, but a lot of times a crew is already waiting. They'll come in
Yeah.
Columbia, and they would change crews at this place called Assembly Street, which is
Yeah.
downtown Columbia, not too far away from Williams-Brice Stadium, which is probably about a mile or so from it. But
Yeah.
they would change crews at the Sonic gas station. I mean, what gas station? The Sonic restaurant, man. They would change crews there. And then the outbound crew get on the train, take it north on the R line to Salisbury, North Carolina. They would get off of Salisbury, and S line crew would get on that train. They take it to Canton to the paper mill up there in Canton. That was my picture perfect run. But the part of what I used to love about that run that it used to always leave on Friday afternoon, not Friday afternoons. It'll leave Columbia more so on Friday evening when the sun going down.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it was essentially a night run out of Columbia.
Okay. Okay.
That's one of my picture perfect runs. Like I said, I got a few of them, man, but that was one that sticks out the most. And a buddy of mine, actually, he got 2 different examples of that same type of run, but they're doing the same thing, changing crews and whatnot. And it was in 2012, 2013 time frame. But
Yeah.
the sun is going down, or the sun is already down in the background. Because me personally, as a rail fan, man, it's just something about that night train, man. That train that's running overnight.
Mm-hmm.
It's just
Yeah.
something about that. You sleep, or you trying to sleep, but then you hear them diesels rumbling in the distance, and you hear
Yeah,
the horns going
man.
on.
Yeah, that's like me. I can hear ATM for miles up, pulling the hill, man. It's just something about it, man. It's
the ATM close to where you live?
right down the street, man. I hear them so good. It's literally when I turn on my neighborhood and go right, I cross the track.
Oh, so you
I can hear that. So I hear them pulling for miles uphill, and it sounds like it's right outside the house.
Hey, man,
And then I
go
can
ahead.
hear NS too. So NS ain't too far. I can hear both NS lines.
Okay. So what is it like running on the AGS north to Chattanooga?
It's cool. It's fast up there too, man. It's 50 mile per hour the whole way up until you get up towards Chat. It get to like 40, 45, 40, slow down closer to the yard. But it's cool. It's pretty. The further you get up, you start getting in between them mountains, and it gets real pretty. And but it's fast. I think they're replacing rail now. I'm thinking it's gonna be 60 soon.
Oh.
I mean, it's so many straights. Like it ain't hardly. It's curves, but it ain't like the AGS South. It's just up and down almost the whole way. It's straight as it can be. Like you can at nighttime, you can see like 4 signals in a row. That's how straight it is. It's straight.
Sheesh, man.
Yeah.
Hey man, you live in a rail fan's dream. You are a rail fan. You live in the location, like I said, which is the Chicago of the South. You got short lines all over the place. You got class ones all over the place. You've worked on short line. You've worked on a class one. You know the best of both worlds. Hey man, you got it, kid. You got it, bro.
I try, man. But yeah, man, hey, I'm just in there, man. I think something I didn't speak on was regarding Amtrak. That's something I always thought about doing. I don't know if I ever do it, but I've always thought about working for Amtrak. Later on in my life.
Well,
'Cause I,
maybe you should
you know,
make that jump if you become engineer qualified with the NS. You could
yeah,
transfer your engineering card over to Amtrak because it's still class one, run at the
yeah,
same
yeah,
speed.
yeah. You're right. That's why I want to get qualified. I thought about that. It's going into passenger. So
Man, there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. You can do whatever you set your mind to, bro.
yes,
You got a
sir.
hell of a railroad career, man. I want to thank you for coming on the second episode of Throttle Notches.
Oh yeah, man. I enjoyed it, man. I'm glad to talk about it and be on here. So
Hey man, it's a blast. It's a blessing to try to give back to the railroad industry. Like I said one time before, it's something that's definitely needed. People wondering what it's like to work on the railroad. They see the money, they see the retirement, they see the big house, the trucks and stuff like that, but people don't really understand the sacrifice that goes into being a conductor or engineer. You
yeah,
guys work constantly on call. For those who don't have the seniority, you work on call, you work, you
yeah. And the
know,
cold, like now, man. It's been cold every night. Freaking 20 degrees. Hey, man. It ain't no joke.
It really ain't no joke, and we don't lie when we say it's not a job; it's a lifestyle, man, because it changes your whole life.
Yeah, like I tell everybody young, I say like this ain't passing out cheeseburgers to the drive-through. It might be funny, but hey,
It really ain't, man. The railroad, working on the railroad is a beast of another breed.
yeah, it really is. It's
No, more so when you in the T&E department. You know what I mean? That's trains and
yeah, yeah,
engines, that's
yeah,
engineers, that's conductors, and I extend T&E past that because the dispatchers play a hell of a role, yard masters play a hell of a role. Uh,
yeah, yeah,
Even though a lot of us don't care for the management, but the
yeah.
MTOs play a hell of a role because they are usually the ones that's gonna chew you out when you're screwing up. They
Hmm.
may be the ones who congratulate you when you are doing good and whatnot.
Yeah, yeah.
Not
You got
all
some
of
good
them, but
examples. Yeah, yeah,
but being actually having your feet on the ground, working as a conductor or engineer on the railroad, man, is or switchman for those who still have those positions, is a blast, man. It's a different beast of a different breed, and it's one of
yeah,
those. Like I said, the railroad industry is a industry that's tried, true, and is battle tested and is still here.
yeah, yeah. Yes, sir. You're right, man. It ain't going nowhere. So hey.
And where else you gonna haul all this weight? Truck can't
Yeah,
hold but so much.
yeah. I know, man. I got a buddy that drive trucks, man. Like I say, he worked out here for a little while. We go back and forth. He talk about he try to talk about how the truck drivers is so much better. We talk crap to each other, but I mean, salute to them too. They gone all the time and driving. But it's I think the railroad is you can do more and move more or whatever.
You're right, right, you're right. Well, at least them truck drivers, they actually able to drive and get on out the way. You know what I mean? Do
Hmm. Yeah,
they're more mobile as far as their independence. But
yeah, yeah,
as being a conductor on the railroad or engineer on the railroad, man, it's nothing like it.
yeah, yeah. It's cool, man. It has some bad days, gonna have some good days. So that's any job though. So.
All right, my man, tell everybody where they can find you at as far as your videos and stuff goes on YouTube or TikTok, wherever you may post your content.
Yeah, so I had a YouTube page since '09. What is it? Birmingham Real Fans
That's right.
dash or slash CO, I think. And I got an Instagram page. Trying to remember the name. Beham Real Fan underscore CO, something like that. I post a lot of stuff on there.
All
A lot
right.
of older stuff, but and of course Facebook, JJ Gordon. That's and I got a band YouTube page It's under my name, Jeffrey Gordon, with all my band, marching band stuff. So,
All right, man.
that's it.
That's it is what it is, man. My man's JJ Gordon. I want to say this right quick. Ladies and gentlemen, this is just the second episode of Throttle Notches. You know, I want people to know this. A lot of my guests are active railroaders. So it may be a big space in between my videos because it's all about getting the right timing to interview a lot of these gentlemen and ladies that are interested in joining the show. So don't be hard on me as far as, man, you ain't put a video out in so long. Yeah, man, a lot of my guests are active railroaders, you know. So, like, man, this brother, we've been talking about doing this video for quite some time, and he had the time, and I had the time today, so we got it done. Just, you know, just want to let everybody know, Throttle Notches, we not jiving. You know, we got people who was lined up who are interested in doing the show. It's just all about the timing as far as getting with them, because quite a few people actually I've chose to do this as an alternative versus actually going to them, because I was going to drive to try to chat with you in person.
Yeah.
And this is a little better because I can actually, you know, we can have a full-on conversation, and I don't necessarily have to be there in the flesh, even though I would have loved to be there. But, you know, finance is not the greatest thing in the world, and time, you know.
Yeah.
Because aside from these guys being railroaders, they're also husbands and wives. I mean, husbands, wives, and fathers.
Yep, you're right.
So yeah, I have to respect their time, you know. Just, again, like I say, you know, I just want y'all to be patient with me when it comes to Throttle Notches. You know, it's all about the right timing with everybody who wants to be on the show.
Yep, yeah, man. Hey, I hope you keep it going. Like I said, I like it, man. I'm looking forward to watching this one and any of the other videos, man. So,
man, I got some legendary people that want to come on the show. Like I said, it's about timing.
Yeah, hey man, you need to get what's his name? You got them video, Mike, the CSX engineer.
Oh, Mike Barnett.
Yeah, I love to see something from him, man.
Man, I don't know if he has a Facebook or not.
He got a Facebook. I seen his page, and he's actually from Birmingham. I didn't know that.
Oh, okay.
I commented on one of his YouTube videos. He was like, "Hey, I'm from Birmingham too." I was like, "Okay."
Hey man, that brother right there, those videos are very inspiring.
Yeah, man, I love working with an engineer like that, man. We
very inspiring.
He on Facebook. He got a Facebook.
Okay, cool. I'm gonna reach out to him if I can add him on Facebook. I also want to reach out to I know you said you talked to him about a few months ago, but I want to reach out to Big Mo, man.
Yeah, he ain't active on Facebook as much. I would have to try to see, you know, I don't know his schedule, but I could try to get in touch with him on the phone or whatever. But he don't be on Facebook like that. Like I said, I try to send him friend requests. He don't. I don't tell him when last ain't been on there.
Hey man, to be honest with you, I found him on your page. This is my second Facebook page. I found him on your page on my first page about 10, 15 years ago. That joker ain't respond yet.
Yeah, he used to rarely be on it back then, but now, man, he probably don't even remember the password. Yeah, he older, man. He don't do all that. So,
all right, man. You know, it's been good to have you on the show, brother, man. Hey, we got to do it again, man.
Oh yeah. Hey, man, I'll be glad to anytime, man. Hey, I enjoyed this. This was good. I ain't never did nothing like this, so I appreciate it.
Hey, like I said, I'm gonna keep it going for the industry. We all need a voice.
Yes, sir.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, there you have it. My boy JJ Gordon, Jeffrey Gordon, out of Alabama, Birmingham, Alabama, Norfolk Southern conductor, former conductor, Alabama, Tennessee River Railroad. We signing out, y'all. This is Throttle Notches, man. You're not just watching, you're riding with the Throttle Notches.
Here we go.
You out of your sleep.
Big traffic on my tracks, call me CSX. Hot ballin' that throttle, you should see me flex. You ain't know what I'm on the manifest. You don't like what I'm doing, you should see what's next. That diesel sound like a jet, gravy train on the scratch. Denzel with the freight, immortal can't be late. Money train with my gang, Donnie doing his thing. Catch him late night Sunday, double stack, motor running. Metro on the subway, I ain't talking about Washington State, locked in for the politics. Learn how to be haulin', big checks in my bank, I think I'm UPN. I don't got no friends, just dividends, big Benjamins. Life hard on the railroad, pushing hard like Thomas. It's worth it all in the end. When you make it deep out the tunnel, retirement checks in the stash, a few commas in safe. Travel underground, cross states. You don't know my location.
You're not just watching, you riding the throttle notching. Where the rails run wild and the stories run deep.